I hope my screen is visible. Vidhi, kindly confirm.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Digital Construction webinar series by Capricot Technologies. This is the last webinar of the series of the webinars that we have had since the 1st of this June. In this series, we discussed about Autodesk Construction Cloud. This is a cloud-based solution where we manage our data from design stage to the construction stage. So in the initial webinars, we saw what is Autodesk Construction Cloud and how within ACC, we can do project management, quality and safety management. And today we will be talking about how we will be able to do cost management during the construction stages of our project. To start with the webinar, we will start with the introduction of Capricot and the product and a welcome note. We will then go on to the construction industry challenges and how ACC is solving them. We will then talk about ACC build overview. There are multiple packages within the solution, which we will discuss in the coming slides, out of which we will give build overview. And then we will go in details about cost management and its dashboards. Towards the end of the session, we will take up question and answers, if any. So we request you for any questions during the webinar, you can put them in the chat box and we'll take them up towards the end. Before starting with the webinar, we would like to take a small audience poll uh, where we would like to know your professional background so that we know what is the bunch of attendees present over here with us so that we can drive our communication in those set of responses. So these are both the questions. One is your professional background. Other is your current organization type you're a part of. These organization types also help us understand your the mix of the attendees which are present today, the stakeholders and their working type. We'll take 10-15 seconds to fill this audience poll. Okay. So most of us present with us are either architects or construction managers or engineers. None of us are students over here. And we are mostly from design consultant teams and PMC team and contractor side. Great. So almost all stakeholders which are there in the project are present there with us. Now, when we will be talking about Autodesk Build, we will be able to understand that how architects, contractors, owners, project managers, engineers, when they come together, how are they communicating or what workflow is required for those sorts of communications. Now, before going into the details of Autodesk Construction Cloud, we would like to introduce ourselves as Capricot. So we are Capricot with India's leading design and construction management technology solution provider for AEC industry, which is architecture, engineering, and construction. We are present in the industry for more than 30 plus years now with the strategy to provide end-to-end 360-degree technology solutions to the customers. That means any solution which is related to technology in the construction industry, we try to provide that to our customers from the sales perspective to support, implementation, services, any sort of involvement which is required in terms of technology solutions. Capricot works with that. For that, we have more than 40 plus PIM experts within the organization, which is spread across India in four major cities: Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, Hyderabad. And with our presence in India, we have served almost 20,000 plus Indian customers, and we're still serving more. Also, while working, we are not limited to any one side type of projects. We have worked with all sorts of projects, be it building or infrastructure projects. So be it airports or railways or your metros or housings, or maybe any sorts of data center, anything which is requires digital information with respect to AEC industry. We have worked with them and we are still working. Now, also Capricot Technologies is now a global brand. We have now become international with other companies merger, and we are Win Zero. We are present all across the world with four major zones, that is America, EMEA in India, and APAC, Asia Pacific. We are here present in almost 52 plus cities, and we are expanding more globally, and with the vision to provide sustainable digital solutions to provide sustainability in the construction industry, to eliminate the carbon footprint that we have and work towards more digital solutions in the construction field. So now when we talk about the digital cost management in Autodesk Construction Cloud, we will again understand what is the product, that is the cloud-based solution, which is ACC, Autodesk Construction Cloud. To give an overview, it is a set of different packages within the solution that allows the teams from different stages to work together on a single cloud-based platform. So it creates a common data environment for them from design stage to pre-construction to construction. So in the design stage, we have this BIM collaborate with us, wherein all the consultants and the team members come together on a single platform and work in a coordinated environment, in a collaborative environment where they can perform real-time updates in the design and drawing, and then which helps them in the value engineering of the drawings and eliminate a lot of errors and overlappings of drawings from the initial stages itself. We then go on to the pre-construction stage where we calculate quantities. Quantification to create estimates and budgets is one of the most essential part for any project. For that, we need accurate quantities. Those quantities we calculate with the help of Autodesk Takeoff, where both 2D and 3D takeoffs can be performed. Why it is essential to have both 2D and 3D takeoff? Because in conventional practices, we are still dependent somewhere on 2D takeoff, for which we need to have integrated solution or integrated quantities from both our 3D models, which we are now stepping into, and our 2D drawings. And towards the end, during the construction stage, we have a wide range of capabilities within Autodesk Build, which includes your project management, quality and safety, cost management, and project closeout. When we talk about Autodesk Build and all these solutions which is provide comprising of RFI, safety planning, quality, forms, daily reports, even your updation of minutes of meetings or updating site information through photographs, issues, all can be done on a single platform. We can track assets, we can create asset information, we can update our schedules and work on it, and again track those schedules from site. We have both mobile and full applications that helps us in a real-time coordination between different teams present at different geographical locations. Today, we will be specifically focusing on cost management within the ACC platform, that which is more around once a budget is created and once we start with the construction at site, there are a lot of day-to-day billings, that day-to-day change orders, applications, forecasting that is required, updations are required, managing of the budget is required. So how are we managing all those activities, let's say with our owners, contractors, subcontractors on a single platform through cost management, and towards the end, how the entire platform is helping us in the project management, or let's say the common data environment where all teams can work together seamlessly. In the previous sessions, we talked about document management. That is a space where all our information is stored and managed. It is stored and managed in the form of folder structures that we create, giving a controlled permission level to the team members, where the information is shared with and through folders and through involving all stakeholders. This again involves the process of documenting the versions. It controls the version of all the projects that we have uploaded. That means all the files with hundreds of revisions that we have are overlapped and not creating multiple files. That means sorting of versions becomes easier. Even the comparison between the two versions, be it 2D or 3D, is becoming easier. It also gives us the capability of document approval workflow. That is how we can create multiple approval workflows within the platform, which helps us in getting the approvals from any geographic location in a given time frame. Again, creating a logbook from where what information is shared and in what duration of time. We then talked about project management, where we saw request for information forms. How do we make those forms, and how is it a process-driven activity where the answer, it's a status-based activity where once the information is responded and all the information that we want is from the right uh, source is then closed and submitted with all the team members. We saw submittals, that how the specifications of the shop drawings which we need to share with our consultants, let's say from different vendors, can be given for submission through submittals. We created minutes of meetings and we tracked multiple meeting discussion points in the meetings through items, which is again status based. So even if a meeting which happened month ago, we can track the statuses of all the topics discussed within that meeting. And daily site reports that we generate, that we have from site, can be updated real time as it has mobile application facilities. So all the activities can from the site can be updated on the platform, and it real time updates the team, let's say the head office or the client owner on the same time. We then talked about quality and safety management, wherein we saw how we can control the quality and safety during the project execution through various forms, checklists, capturing real-time photos, attaching issues to them, which can be quality, safety, risk issues, and tracking all those forms and issues from site. We again saw how we can create punch list or snag list during the closeout of the project in the construction phase. Now, about cost management. So cost management, which we will be discussing today, is more around how we can create budgets and create change orders within those budgets. So let's say when we create our budgets, we will have bills. We have regular bills that are generated both upstream to the owners and downstream to the contractors. So how do we manage those bills on the platform? Change orders that happen which leads to cost change, again how can that be incorporated within the project, and all these changes and information that we have from day-to-day cash flows updated through cost forecasting. So we need to have a forecast that this was a planned budget and this is where our budget is leading. So we need those forecasts. We need to understand various S curves and detailed distribution in the platform. So now for a detailed discussion, I would like to call my team member Ridhi and take it up further. Over to you, Ridhi.
Thank you, Pallavi. Allow me to share my screen. One second. Okay, so now you have got the gist of what cost management is, which allows you to manage cost and budget changes in your project.
Sorry to interrupt in between, Ridhi. Your voice is
All
not clear.
which are handled
Just a minute.
by
Let
the
me just check with Ridhi. Hello. Apologies for the inconvenience. Can we wait for 2 minutes? We're just joining.
Hello. Hello.
So yes, Riddhi, you are now audible. Can you just
Screen.
check once?
Hello.
Yeah, it's now clear.
The screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Let's start with the cost management now. So we have got the gist of what capabilities Hello. Okay. So let's start with the cost management now. So firstly, we will look into the settings. So as we so ACC provides this platform where you can customize
Okay. So we'll now take up the cost management part of the presentation. So we will discuss about the project setup. Here in the project setup, we will see that how we can manage the basic settings of the cost management. This becomes the backbone for any project in the ACC platform. So over here, we can decide the workflow of our project, that is whether it is owner based or based. And then we can discuss about the upstream and downstream workflow of the projects. We can then start with the initial settings, wherein we can check the unit system, and we can check with who all will be the default companies, let's say the owner, general contractor, architects. We can do that. we have to then decide whether we have to allocate our budget to different line items or not. We can set with that. This is a detailed space wherein you can again enter your information like retention amount, whether you want to add the retention rates, because mostly different materials and works and contracts have different rates, retention rates in the contracts which are there. So we can keep those standard rates present, and then those changes can be made even during the creation of multiple bills. We can add multiple taxes since there can be a few tweaks and tricks and different taxation forms also. So we can create those tax formulas which will automatically get calculated once we generate our budgets, and we can select which tax formula we want to attach to the budgets. For example, we can see even in the platform, we can add who all team members can be there on the platform and what all changes do they need to do. Now, all the documents which gets created on the platform, be it your bills or your contracts or your main documents, all those are generated in the form of some document, either Word or Excel. So those documents we can save in the document management folder again, that is our docs, that is the base. And in that we can create a folder for cost management itself, which by default on its own create multiple subfolders according to the solution and or documents that we generate within the platform. Also, we can decide the workspace name and locations of all the columns that we have, since cost management is a very extensive tool, and in the ACC platform, which comes with a lot of settings. For example, you can see here that each tab has different sets of activities with different set of standards name that ACC has given. And if we want to change them according to our organizational workflow, we can do that here in the platform itself. Now, once we have done with our general settings, we need to go with the budget settings. Now, what do we mean by budget? That is our final planned cost that we have for the project. We have calculated all our quantities from, let's say, takeoff and Revit and all the softwares, and made the budget with all our estimates done. Now for that, we need to create budget codes, because budget code is one of the essential aspects when we talk about standardizing the workflow. So ACC gives us a template various international standards, let's say ISC standard workflow or so. But in India, we can take our own budget code. And over here in the platform, we can create that budget code with multiple segments. Let's say the naming critical code, or your type of project, which can be housing or any commercial building, those names, and maybe internal, external. So, and even material based, labor based type of activity which is there. All those segments coming together can create your budget code itself, which becomes readable in the platform once we start with the management of our cost. Later, when we go on to the other stages, we can then see how we are creating budget payment applications. That is, once we need to create the bills, we need to check on that who all are creating the budgets, and what all information is going to which person. So we can create budget approval workflows. We can add different people within that workflow. So let's say the budget is going from the general contractor to the owner. So those those associate team members within those contracts can be added, and we can then have a predefined workflow. We also need to have standard templates for our budget payment application, and even for the contracts that we have within the budget, those can be created in the budget payment applications. We can again customize the attributes and the types that we want to add within the budget. We can define different contracts within the main budget that we will see when we come to the further slides. Then comes the cost setup. Now the same workflow that we did for the upstream communication from our general contractors to the owners, the similar has to be done for the downstream communication, which is from the contractors to our subcontractors. Now here there are a lot of cost type communication. These are different contractors with different set of contracts, and will have different set of amounts which are added. So let's say it will have different expenses and different bills and all those things, which needs to have a specific code. For example, even when we talk about change orders within the platform, all those will have a lot of confusion as all of those are numbers and we do not know which number belongs to which cost, whether it is for the subcontractor or for the owner. So for that, we have prefix and suffix which we can add in front of those cost codes or the amount that we are working on. Here on the screen, you can see that this is the extensive list of columns which is already present in the platform with certain set of formulas. And we can create more formulas and more columns within the platform depending on our need or our organizational functions. Let's say we need variance, cost variance charts, we can add those also. We need to modify the formulas, we can do that also within the platform. And again, cost payment application will have, that is their bills with their subcontractors will have a approval workflows, which we will create those workflows on the system. Also in the platform, we can define expense types since there can be n number of expenses. So you can identify, you can filter those expenses later in the coming stage. And all those templates that we create here in the platform that we can put in the workflow again, like what all are the expenses type, internal, external, all those things, maybe cost type, maybe it is for the material use or maybe for the labor use, external use, those cost codes or X types we can put in the platform. We are still on the settings part of cost management, under which will come the change orders. So change orders. So in the change orders, we'll see that let's say there are day-to-day changes in the project, even if it's, and for example, if it's a mm, longer duration projects, changes are inevitable. There will be a lot of changes in the project, and that leads to most of the time cost changes also, or the budget changes also. For that, we create change orders, and also within that, the change order comes with a workflow, and we'll have different set of again prefix and suffix related to the cost or the type of change order that we want. We can add all of these here. We can even add markup costs. Now, for example, if within the longer duration of time, the cost escalation is there or there is some change and we need to add those markup values. So we can define our formulas here before adding it directly to the bills. That saves a lot of time and standardizes the process from anybody directly entering any amount. We can create approval workflows again for each and every activity for our owner approval workflow. Since this is an extensive tool, it has owner change order, subcontractor change order. We have requests for quotations from our vendors also. So a lot of stakeholders are there present in the platform at the same time for different activities, for which we need permission setup. Since there are more than 4 or 5 people present on the platform, we need to bring them together on a single platform. We need to have a controlled information flow or controlled information sharing authorities, and that can be done through this process, as you can see on the screen, the controlled information giving access. Now when we go on, now let's say we now are jumping into the upstream cost management activities, which is our budget. So now once we are done with our setting, which becomes the backbone for our setup, as you just saw, which has extensive list, we are now coming into the upstream cost management activity. So here what we are doing is we are adding our budget to the platform with all the quantities and each line items and creating a final original budget. And after that, once the budget is created, we create multiple contracts. So there is a main contract, which is a club of subcontracts packages. And then those packages are assigned to different line items to different subcontractors. And after that, now once that is there and we start working within the process, we see that each activity there is an update, a bill is raised, that is a budget payment application, and then you submit those bills. Some payments are made, some are rejected. You need to transfer the cost from one item to another. Those can be done through the budget payment application. So here you can see that each main contract item is there, and then each of them have different line items which are attached, and all those activities are a club of sums which total add to the main cost of the budget. Now, when we talk about payment applications, which we need to discuss in detail, is the owner payment application. So when we talk about upstream payment application, let's say this is the space where the general contractor is working and they have to raise a bill to the owner. So for that, they need to specify the quantity. They need to specify the quantity, like what all work is completed, how much money they have dispatched to the team members, and how much quantities has been work has been done, and what all cost related to that has been done, that is this particular period and the previous period, and then raise a bill to the owner. So they need to notify the owner with all the set of information, attaching information like if there are any change orders which the owners are approved, and they need the cost for that also for the project. And this budget payment application will follow a submission approval workflow. Since each directly the owner will not accept the bill, there has to be a hierarchy. Let's say the project manager or maybe the team, internal team first has to approve the bill, and then it has to go to the owner. Now in the right hand side panel flyout, again you can see that we can add change orders, we can add a taxation bills that we have just created in the settings. All those can be done over here, and then we create a document if needed and share it with the approval team for further signatures, let's say. Similarly, when we talk about the downstream cost management, all those packages that we created, the subcontractor packages, let's say the contractors for interior work is separate, for finishing it is separate, for MEP it is separate, and for the structure the general contractor is working. So all these subcontracts which work together will have different commitments, will have different costs that the general contractor has to bear, which total adds up to the cost of the project. And after that, again, the internal communication, let's say the bill transfer or the payments that are made, the change orders which are there will be a lot of changes in the cost, which will lead to some sort of projected budgets. And then we have to track how many payments have been made or what are other dues which are there. Once that is done, that there is a comparison between the two, and we get a forecast from both tabs which are there. And these forecasts can be visible again on this extensive list of columns that we have in the platform. Payment application. Now what happens is in the payment application, we saw the upstream payment application with the owners. In case of downstream application, now the general contractor has to again raise bills to the subcontractors who will fill the quantities and submit their bills for the payments. Now the general contractor have to make the payment to them, which is again different for different subcontractors. So we can create those different subcontractor bills over here, and again with the time frame. So let's say these are monthly bills, so we can create a recurring bill standard format which we can share with the team members. You can see that there is extensive approval workflow process on the right hand side flyer. We can add those members, add members in CC, since ACC is connected to your email IDs. The information that you raise over here directly reach to the people at the from on their inboxes also. Now, once when we talk about the change order, so change order is again a set of process which is there. So it goes from potential change order to the change orders. Now, what do we mean by this process is, let's say any activity that has happened, let's say there is a small design change within the project or a small set of area that might lead to a cost change or even might not lead to a cost change. It is within the budget limit. So in that case, that activity becomes a potential change order with multiple items within it. And for that, we need to get the quotation from our different vendors, right? And those can be requested for quotations from, let's say, our procurement team. So they will give us the cost for that, and from that we will select one. We will either select or reject one, and then we will send it further for the change order request to our owner or our subcontractor, right? So let's say if the cost is within the premises of the general contractor, it will go to the subcontractor for approval. But if the cost change is major and needs approval from the owner or more funding from the owner, we send it across to the owner change order and get it approved. So this is the workflow that it shares. Again, there are a lot of inbuilt changes that we can do, that we create, or there can be multiple different situations for which we need to work on. So now here, if you see that this is the change order platform that we have, we create multiple potential change orders initially from the cost item. Let's say within a room change also, different line items for walls, for windows, for finishes are there, which is added within the potential change order, will be escalated further to the request for quotation, where we define whether the change that is happening is in or out of the scope of the project first. And then we go for our, let's say, cost approval and the change order approval from our team members. And once we get that, we then finally get approved or rejected change order, because on this basis, we add them in our bills and get the costs from our upstream or downstream communication anyway, which we take it. Now, all this juggle that happens during the during the project life cycle, not life cycle, I would say during the construction stage, where lots of bills are raised, a lot of pending accounts are there, a lot of dues are there. All these things which are there will need to a cost impact, or we need to have a dedicated forecast. To create those forecasts, we can create one level of forecast here with respect to the time that is our schedules. We can attach schedule line items here and link them to our cost line items, and then track the cost activities. So what was the actual cost? What is the final budgeted cost, forecast cost? How much has been made, payment being made? Also, we can create distribution curves. You can see over here the forecast distribution chart is created. This is again amount wise or percentage wise. These are multiple front loaded or backward loaded down back loaded curves, which gives us the understanding of the project health, where it is going. This is for now individual line item, but again, we can create the entire cash flow related curves for a project, entire project also. So if I go further on the video, we can see that this is the cost, this is the cash flow of the entire project. So during the duration in which the activities have happened, we can see the curves being made. And again, each activity, let's say the revised budget, if we open that, within that each line item, if I open, we can create a distribution curve depending on the work that we want to do, or depending on the type of activity we want to perform. Let's say we have divided into percentages. So this is extensive way of dividing it into different percentages for our distributions. So that was all about cost management in a gist. Since the tool is very extensive and needs a lot of working and practice on it, we will conclude about cost management over here. And now we will talk about ACC as the entire platform. It is a single platform that we saw. It is a unified platform connecting all your stakeholders from design to the construction stage. It gives us the insight in forms of dashboards, in forms of reports, in forms of, let's say, your forms and everything with the help of this insight tool. So multiple executive level dashboards or member level dashboards can be created. And since this is a common platform for all the stakeholders, including the organization, it is an enterprise admin-based solution. That means from your organization head to your team members, all of them are there on the platform with the controlled information settings that they have managing the information. It is a unified data platform. It collects the entire life cycle project. That means from the starting, we saw any document which is in any file format, models, assets. We can create asset library over here. We can add cost items that we just saw. We can create a repository of all the images from the site or from any space for the project. We can have drawings. We can check those AutoCAD or Revit drawings on the model directly. We can comment within those set of working fields. We can attach videos, reports, any sorts of data, which comes together and gets integrated, leaving no space for error or miscommunication within the teams. Now, when we talk about insight, what we can see that we can, all that information that we just saw in the previous slide that we have captured in the platform, we can create multiple dashboards. We can create those dashboards to view what information has happened. We can check the statuses of, let's say, issues. Are the issues which are not worked on, which are being worked on, delays. We can check the health of the project, and we can also get the reports out of those health dashboards to take action internally. We can even get more information for all the projects together from that platform itself. When we talk about dashboards, now built in itself has a homepage where all the information or all the activities are being stored together. You can see that all the information or all the activities that has happened on within the build environment, who all are the members, number of sheets present, what activity has happened, what milestone is being achieved, how many RFIs are being raised, issues are being raised, are stored on the platform here like this. And all the information within the platform can be extracted in the form of reports. So be it RFIs, be it submittals, be it meeting reports, be it as submittal report or RFI related report, all these reports can be extracted in the form of multiple templates which are present within the platform. We can edit these templates depending on what type of information we need in form of filters. We can create multiple filters and generate reports. And these reports can then be further used as a repository, or we can use it for an internal set of discussions also. And once the report is created, we can even schedule a report. Let's say we want a issues report every week. So we can create those filters. We can create those filters and create those recurring schedules on. So we will by default receive emails of all the reports generated after every week. That is the power of this solution. And towards the end, when we talk about construction IQ, so if we go to the inside dashboard of the platform, as we just discussed, any information that we created, all those issues and risk related activities that we created, for be it design activity, quality or safety or risk, we have all the information there present on our dashboard. Project information, weather information, RFIs, how many RFIs are being responded on time, or what are the dues which are being there. So as a project manager or as the head who's managing the solution can check who all are the responsible people who have worked on time, whether the project is in the right direction with all the things taken up clearly, can be checked from here. And these cards that we see on the platform are editable. We can create multiple chart types, we can add those cards, and we can get those information in the form of exported report also. This is not just for one dashboard. We can have different dashboards for design, for quality, for safety, and we can create these kind of trends related charts also for data analysis. We can have a cost related chart also. So as you can see, the cost management that we just saw, we can have these projected versus original or the forecast versus original charts, and we can with the clear set of information, we can check what are the information we are getting. And again, if you want to share this information from the platform to other set of people, we can create these sort of share setting that we want to share it within the team members or externally with the help of the link. So with that, we come to an end to the presentation today. If there are any questions that we can take up, kindly let us know. Kindly put your questions in the chat box. We'll take it up in this Q&A round. Yes, so there is a question. Is Autodesk stock subscription is also a part of build? So yes, all the tools that we just saw, document management is based on that. This is the foundation and we get with all the products. So with the build also we get docs as the base platform. So if there are no questions right now, you can always write it us to the Capricot email ID, and we can then respond to your queries over there. For now, if there are no questions, we would like to close the session. Thank you for attending all the series present in the about Autodesk Construction Cloud. We will join back with new series soon. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.